According to the summons, Williams will be charged with the allegation that to make the resultant steering column modification, it replaced one section of the column with a tube of smaller diameter. The prosecution will allege that Williams did not adequately evaluate the force to which the modification would be subjected. The joint between the sections was of inadequate radius. The material used in the smaller piece was different and inferior to the original. Tool marks were left on the modified piece, reducing its resistance to stress. The piece of reduced diameter was at the point subject to the greatest stresses. Patrick Head was quoted as saying last year, "The steering column had been checked after Senna was involved in an accident at the start of the race preceding Imola and found to be undamaged and free of cracks." Frank Williams and the two other senior members of his team who have been accused of manslaughter will all travel to Italy to defend themselves in court later this year, but Williams' lawyer Roberto Corso claims that the chances of them going to jail are extremely slim. The Italian charge of culpable homicide is far less serious than the UK equivalent of manslaughter. The former is brought if anyone has been judged to be careless or negligent in any way if a person dies. But legal sources say, is almost unheard of for defendants to get a custodial sentence unless there is adjudged to be a high degree of negligence. The maximum sentence carried by the charge is 5 years and the minimum 1, although mitigating circumstances can reduce it by 60%. A penalty of more than 2 years cannot be suspended. What Williams is accused of, that a modification to the steering column on Senna's Williams FW16 was poorly designed and implemented, causing it to fatigue and then break as he rounded the 190 mph Tomborello corner, will likely be regarded as an error or miscalculation. In Italy, Corso said, every road accident finishes with an action like this. And this is a road accident, technically speaking. The fact that Senna knew the risk he was taking by driving a F1 car will reduce the degree of negligence for which Williams can be held responsible, and Senna's request for the steering to be modified will weigh heavily in Williams' favor. The preliminary hearing, which Corso predicted would not end until October, will be adjudicated by a praetor, a senior magistrate, in front of whom the prosecution and defense will present witnesses. Corso said Williams will ask to have proper access to Senna's car for the first time since the accident, and will request that another expert's report be written by parties appointed by the proctor with Williams' assistance. If the magistrate denies them that chance, then they will appeal. The team is likely to claim that the steering did not fail, and both Head and Newey will present evidence in their defense. If Williams is found guilty, Corso said, it will go to the Court of Appeal in Bologna, which would take another couple of years, and if Williams loses again it will take the case to the Italian Supreme Court. The length of the trial is extremely unpredictable, and the case, which will be heard in 3 stages, may not finish for at least 5 years. The court will have a tough time deciding guilt. There is no TV footage, and the court will have to choose between 2 submissions of conflicting and highly complicated technical evidence. TV rights holder Fokker claims that a film taken from the on-car camera of Senna's Williams of the events leading up to the accident cuts off before the car leaves the track.